In an unexpected twist, Lil Durk, despite being locked behind bars, has found a way to communicate with the world through his music, raising eyebrows and sparking discussions with his latest project, Deep Thoughts. Released on March 28, 2025, while Durk awaits trial in a Los Angeles jail on federal charges related to a 2022 killing, this album offers both a creative escape and a calculated move in the midst of uncertainty. As the rapper faces grave legal consequences, including accusations of orchestrating rival Quando Rondo's death and a separate gang-related incident in Chicago, this album becomes more than just music. It's an attempt to control the narrative, sending a message to fans, foes, and perhaps even the court of public opinion. Deep Thoughts is unique for more than its content. It was crafted through a series of prison phone calls, an unconventional and gritty process that reflects Durk's circumstances. The album was pieced together remotely, with producers holding phones to studio monitors, recording raw vocals over beats that were approved from behind bars. The process is raw, minimalist, no lavish vocal layers or experimental production here. Instead, it's stripped down, focusing on Durk's voice and emotions as he communicates from a confined space. The result is a project that feels personal and immediate, yet it's unmistakably shaped by the threat of legal action and the looming prospect of life in prison. Lil Durk's Deep Thoughts album carries a weight far beyond the usual beats and catchy hooks that characterize his trap anthems. As much as it delivers collaborations with prominent figures like Future and Jane Ayeko, it also feels like a carefully crafted statement. The album is not simply a collection of songs, but a deliberate effort to shape a narrative, one that reflects Durk's current life, his ongoing legal battles, and his desire to mitigate potential legal fallout. The lyrics of Deep Thoughts stand in stark contrast to the raw, unapologetic aggression seen in much of Durk's earlier work. While fans have come to expect street-level realism from the rapper, this album marks a shift in tone, with many of the lyrics carefully sanitized. Violent threats that once would have been delivered with brutal clarity are now noticeably scrubbed or bleeped out. This decision is likely not a casual one, but rather a move driven by the looming specter of his federal trial. With a high-stakes legal situation threatening to dismantle his career, Durk seems to have made a conscious choice to remove any content that could be used as evidence against him. His previous works have been scrutinized in court, with prosecutors often citing his lyrics as confessions of real-life crimes. In light of this, the revised lyrics in Deep Thoughts feel like a strategic pivot, aimed at avoiding further legal complications. A striking example of this legal caution is found in the track 1,000 Times. A leaked version of this song contains a direct, explicit threat that was glaringly absent in the final release. This omission suggests that Durk is keenly aware of how his words can be weaponized in a courtroom. It's as if he has intentionally removed content that might provide ammunition for the prosecution, ensuring that his lyrics remain a safe distance from incriminating evidence. In the same vein, other songs like Vanish Mode show odd edits, with words like gun and 3 being conspicuously omitted. To the casual listener, these changes might seem like standard radio edits, but for Durk's fans and legal observers, they raise questions about whether the adjustments are the result of moral reflection, or more likely, legal paranoia. This pattern of self-censorship reveals a deeper layer of Durk's current mindset. While he has always been a product of the streets, known for his raw storytelling and his ability to paint vivid pictures of violence, the realities of his legal situation seem to be forcing him to reconsider how much of his street persona is worth preserving. It's as if he is attempting to strike a delicate balance between staying true to his roots and protecting himself from further legal entanglements. The edits, while subtle, speak volumes about the tension Durk faces as he navigates the fine line between artistic freedom and legal responsibility. Moreover, these changes also reflect the broader pressures faced by artists within the drill music genre, where authenticity is paramount. Durk's shift in lyrical content, while strategically sound, may also signal a loss of the edge that initially drew fans to him. The fear that his legal issues may change the essence of his music and potentially alienate listeners adds another layer of complexity to his situation. Yet it's clear that Durk is fighting for survival, not only in the courtroom but also in the ever-evolving landscape of hip-hop. In conclusion, Deep Thoughts is far more than just another album. It is Durk's attempt to control the narrative of his life and career, all while navigating the treacherous waters of his legal situation. The censored lyrics and missing threats in tracks like 1000 Times and Vanish Mode are not just artistic decisions, but tactical moves aimed at protecting himself from further legal scrutiny. In the face of mounting pressure, Durk has crafted an album that speaks to his survival instinct, marking a poignant moment in his career as he confronts the intersection of art, life, and law. While some critics argue that these sanitizations make the album feel less raw compared to Durk's past, with its confessional tracks like 7,220s and The Voice, others recognize the necessity of this caution. Rapping about violent acts when the feds are listening simply isn't an option. This balancing act between staying true to his street roots and being mindful of legal repercussions is evident throughout the album. Tracks like Monitoring Me touch on themes of surveillance, with references to tapped phones and growing paranoia. Opportunist portrays Durk as a seasoned survivor who has navigated betrayal, yet the specific details that would potentially implicate him are notably absent. Strategically, the album also makes use of features that carefully navigate legal risk. Future, known for his street credibility, appears on the track They Want to Be You, lending his presence without bringing legal heat. Meanwhile, Jane Ayeko's soulful hook on Can't Hide It introduces a softer side of Durk, a stark contrast to the image prosecutors have built of him as a cold, calculating figure. Even the album's cover art, AI-generated and abstract, avoids any explicit prison imagery, reflecting Durk's attempt to maintain control over how his story is told. Ultimately, Deep Thought stands as both a creative effort and a strategic maneuver, using music to send a message while carefully tiptoeing around legal pitfalls. The project is a testament to Durk's resilience and ability to adapt, navigating the tension between his authenticity as a street rapper and the realities of his legal situation. As he awaits his trial in October 2025, this album may serve as one of his most significant moves yet, one that could shape not just his legacy, but the trajectory of his future. Lil Durk's latest album, Deep Thoughts, has divided his fan base, reflecting the complex relationship between his street persona and his evolving artistry. On one hand, longtime supporters lament the absence of the raw, unfiltered street storytelling that made him a drill music icon. For them, the album lacks the gritty energy of his earlier tracks, such as The Voice or 7,220s, where Durk's pain and struggle bled through every verse. They point to his 2021 hit, The Moment of Truth, a song where Durk poured his heart out about the murder of his brother, questioning whether the album's shift signifies a departure from that intense, personal energy. Others, however, see Deep Thoughts as a sign of Durk's growth, an evolution that showcases his maturation as an artist. Tracks like Notebook No Hook delve into his reflections on fatherhood and loss, pairing minimalist piano loops with introspective lyrics that highlight a more vulnerable side of Durk. This pivot toward vulnerability resonates with listeners who appreciate the depth and introspection present in his more mature works, signaling that Durk is more than just a street figure, but a man navigating the complexities of life, fatherhood, and redemption. The album's rollout, however, was complicated by leaks and last-minute changes, suggesting that Durk's team had to carefully navigate legal pitfalls. Some fans noticed the rush in the final product, citing abrupt edits and incomplete ideas, which many speculated were a result of legal vetting. The censoring of lyrics, particularly those that referenced violence or threats, raised eyebrows. Phrases that might have once been part of Durk's signature storytelling were scrubbed or bleeped out, leading to the theory that his legal team had intervened to avoid potentially incriminating material. For some, this sanitization made the album feel less raw than what they had come to expect from Durk's music. Despite these imperfections, many loyalists argue that Deep Thoughts is still a triumph. It's a testament to Durk's resilience that he's managed to release music while awaiting trial, showing that even in the face of life-altering charges, he remains committed to his craft. The album's themes of loyalty, betrayal, redemption, and mental health are seen as a strategic blend of street realities and personal reflection. Tracks like Think You Glowed walk the line between the streets and the courtroom, with lyrics that position Durk as both a leader and a survivor in a world filled with snakes. The accompanying documentary elements of the album further emphasize Durk's efforts to reshape his narrative. Footage of him as a devoted father, contrasted with the image of him as a ruthless street figure, serves to humanize him ahead of his trial. It's clear that Durk is playing a high-stakes game, using every available tool to maintain his cultural relevance while navigating his legal battle. His approach mirrors that of other artists like Young Thug, who strategically released music during his RICO case to stay in the public eye. However, the stakes for Durk are even higher, with federal charges potentially leading to life in prison. Ultimately, Deep Thoughts could be Durk's final musical statement or the foundation for a comeback if he's acquitted. His trial, set for October 2025, will determine the album's legacy. If convicted, the project could be seen as a tragic farewell, its themes acting as a grim foreshadowing of what's to come. On the other hand, an acquittal could turn the album into a symbol of resilience and self-preservation, highlighting Durk's ability to overcome adversity and reclaim his place in the rap game. In the broader context, Durk's legal troubles have intensified debates about the intersection of hip-hop culture and the legal system, particularly around the use of rap lyrics as evidence. The charges against him stem from a 2022 shooting involving rival rapper Rondo, which prosecutors allege Durk orchestrated. The case is built on a combination of financial records, digital evidence, and witness testimony, painting Durk as a key figure in a conspiracy to carry out the attack. These accusations have sparked a firestorm of controversy, with many questioning whether the system is unfairly targeting hip-hop artists like Durk. Regardless of the outcome, Durk's situation highlights the harsh reality of drill music, where loyalty, violence, and personal loss often intersect with the pursuit of fame. His ongoing legal battles, combined with his strategic music releases, demonstrate how artists in his position must constantly navigate the pressures of street life, public perception, and the law. As his trial date approaches, the future of Lil Durk, both as an artist and as a free man, remains uncertain, but Deep Thoughts ensures that his story, in whatever form it takes, will continue to captivate the public's attention. Lil Durk's journey from Chicago's drill scene to global rap stardom has been as tumultuous as it has been transformative. His rise was marked by the tragic loss of his close friend and protege, King Von, and his relentless drive to honor his legacy through music. However, Durk's past, shaped by street life and violent feuds, continues to haunt him, both in his music and in the courtroom. Durk's evolution as an artist is juxtaposed against a backdrop of ongoing legal battles that have tested the very essence of his street credibility. His lyrics, often about revenge and retaliation, have blurred the lines between artistry and confession. Critics argue that this is a reflection of drill music's dark influence, where pain, violence, and personal loss are woven into the very fabric of the genre. Some contend that Durk's music isn't merely art, but a confession of his involvement in the violence he raps about, while others point to racial bias in how rap lyrics are treated in the legal system compared to artists from other genres. Durk's career has been a paradox. A father caught in a whirlwind of violence, a rapper navigating the complexities of fame, and an artist whose personal struggles seem inseparable from his public persona. His feud with fellow rapper 600 Breezy, for instance, underscores a recurring issue in drill music: the exploitation of real trauma for publicity and clout. While some fans find the drama compelling, others criticize it as a dangerous spectacle that glamorizes violence and exploits vulnerable communities. This paradox deepens with Durk's legal troubles, which now threaten not only his career but his freedom. Indicted for a federal conspiracy to commit murder for hire in connection with the 2022 shooting of Lil Pab, Durk's future hangs in the balance as his trial looms in October 2025. Prosecutors allege that Durk orchestrated the plot to kill rapper Rondo in retaliation for the 2020 death of King Von. The case is built on a mountain of evidence: financial records, wiretaps, and witness testimonies, suggesting that Durk played a significant role in financing the attack. In federal cases like this, where the odds of conviction are stacked against the defendant, Durk faces a daunting choice: accept a plea deal or risk going to trial. If Durk were to negotiate a plea deal, it would likely result in a sentence of 20 to 30 years, a crushing blow to his career and legacy. But there's a risk that accepting responsibility could damage his street reputation, with fans turning on him if they perceive him as soft or snitching. Conversely, should Durk choose to fight the charges in court and lose, the result could further solidify his status as a martyr in the streets, an artist who didn't back down in the face of the system's pressures. Yet there's another layer to Durk's predicament: the possibility of the case expanding into a RICO indictment. which could implicate his entire crew and associates. This would mirror the legal battles of other artists, like Young Thug, whose lyrics and affiliations were used to portray him as part of a larger criminal conspiracy. A RICO charge would extend the legal process, rack up immense costs, and deepen the threat of long-term incarceration, not only for Durk but for his F Collective and associates as well. Adding to the weight of the situation is Durk's lack of bail, which has kept him in a federal detention center, unable to directly oversee his music empire. This leaves him reliant on pre-recorded material and the efforts of proxies to maintain his presence in the music world. His 2025 album, Deep Thoughts, was released during his confinement, pieced together from earlier recordings and prison phone calls. However, without live performances, social media engagement, or industry events, the album's commercial success is hampered. Financially, Durk's mounting legal bills, often exceeding $1 million, coupled with the loss of income from canceled tours and endorsements, place an immense strain on his resources. Brands like Fashion Nova and Cash App, who once partnered with him, may sever ties to avoid the negative fallout. His absence from the drill scene also creates a power vacuum. The genre that Durk helped propel into the mainstream faces the prospect of losing its most prominent figure, potentially undermining the genre's cultural relevance. Durk's situation is emblematic of the broader struggle that many rap artists face, where the authenticity of their lyrics is constantly questioned and their past actions are scrutinized. Federal prosecutors have made it clear that they intend to use Durk's lyrics against him, arguing that they contain confessions of real crimes rather than creative expression. This has sparked a growing debate about the criminalization of Black artistry, with many in the hip-hop community arguing that rap lyrics, which often tell stories of hardship, are unfairly used as evidence in court. The coming months will be a critical juncture for Durk, as he faces a choice that could define the rest of his life and career. If he pleads guilty, he risks damaging his reputation beyond repair, losing his credibility in the eyes of his fans. If he goes to trial and loses, he could become another tragic figure, another artist consumed by the violence he rapped about. But there's also a sliver of hope. A successful defense could elevate him to the status of a survivor, a symbol of resilience in the face of systemic targeting. Ultimately, Durk's story is one of conflicting forces, of street loyalty and industry ambition, of personal pain and public performance, of art and consequence. As his trial date approaches, the stakes couldn't be higher. Whether he's remembered as a legend of Chicago's drill scene or as a cautionary tale of an artist undone by his own lyrics will depend on the outcome of this next chapter.